So official. All right. Okay, so we'll start coming to a seated position on your mat. So if you've got your cushion or box down, just popping it under your hips, so your knees are a little bit lower than your hips. And just taking a moment here to close down your eyes, allowing your hips to heavy down, hands resting on your thighs. If you're wanting your practice to be a little more grounding this morning, we can start with our hands, palms facing down. Or if you're needing a bit more energy, we reverse the palms, have them facing up. So closing down your eyes and taking a moment to tune into your breath. Noticing where you can feel the breath in the body. And then shifting your awareness from where you are, focusing now to another part of the body where you can feel the breath. So maybe in the nostrils or even on the top of the lip. And as we arrive in our practice today, I'd like to acknowledge that we are practicing on country. In the southwest, we're on dodgy country. I'm not sure where you are, Kirst, what the Aboriginal name is for country there, but I do like to acknowledge that we're practicing on country and pay respect to elders past, present and emerging, as well as acknowledge my gratitude for the practice of yoga and how it has been shared across the globe, allowing us and two of my favourite people to practice here together today. So we'll stay for a pranayama practice of a full belly breath. So inhaling through the nostrils, filling up the belly all the way to the top. Pausing at the top of the breath and then slowly exhaling through the nostrils. Inhaling through the nostrils, filling up the belly, allowing the belly to expand and full. Pausing at the top of that breath and then let it go nice and slow. Inhaling one more time, making this the deepest breath you've taken all morning. Pausing at the top of the breath. Exhale, let it go. Release our breath work, our pranayama practice. And just allow your breath to return to a pace that feels natural for you. And from here, we can begin to flutter open the eyes, taking the hands by the side body, reaching the fingertips down to your mat. Just seeing if you can allow the spine to grow tall and the shoulders to droop away from the ears a little more. Feeling that sensation of the lengthening of the spine as your fingers reach away from the body and shoulders melt away down the back of the body. We'll start to integrate our breath with some movement here by inhaling, reaching the hands up nice and high. Touching palms together at the top. Exhale, float the hands back down to the side body. Inhale, reaching up. Gaze can follow if that feels okay for your neck. Exhale, let it go. Super, super slow. Inhale, reach up. Using the breath to guide the movement. So the breath begins before the movement. Do 3 more just like this. And after your last exhale, we'll lift the hips, remove the cushion or bolster from underneath you and place it off to the side. Keeping the legs crossed, hands resting on the knees, palms facing down. Just going to start to circle the hips around the torso around the hips. So tiny little movements for our Sufi circles here in one direction. Just really feeling into connecting with that sensation of that very tiny little movement of the pelvis rotating. And then when you're feeling a little bit warm, we'll start to take those circles a little bigger. You bring the neck and the shoulders into it, getting a little funky on your mat here. Rolling through these Sufi circles, using the breath to guide the movement. Knowing that as we move nice and slow, we flow through this practice today, that we're focused on drawing our awareness inwards, really feeling into the body. Noticing that if your mind starts to wander at any point in time, it can come back to the breath to help you come back to the moment. Slowing down those circles, making them nice and tiny again. And then we'll take them in the opposite direction, starting small. When you feel ready to increase the size of your circles, roll forwards and back. Remembering that if we want to add a little more, you can bring the head and neck into it. Making sure that the chin comes forward as you lean forward over the legs and tucking the chin into the chest as you come back. Nice. Slowing down those circles, making the circles smaller yet again. And then inhale to rotate through the spine. Release the hands by the side body. See if you can find that length through the spine again. Sometimes when we come into those kind of movements, we start to collapse a little. So seeing if you can find that length again here. Chin slightly tucked to chest. Just sit with that sensation for a breath in and a breath out. We're going to make our way over to tabletop position. So coming to hands and knees, however you get there, there's nothing pretty. Coming to your tabletop position, checking that wrist, elbows and shoulders are all lined up and the inner creases of your elbows are rotating forwards. Fingers are spread super wide on the mat. Taking a moment to wiggle out any little niggles here and find your comfort zone. We're going to come straight into around a few rounds of cat-cow here. So inhaling to drop the belly, moving with the tailbone, drawing the line with the gaze to the ceiling. Exhale, reverse. Tailbone moves first and tuck the chin to chest, draw that belly button up to the spine. Inhale, reverse. And we're going to flow through this a few times using your own breath to guide your movement. Coming back to your tabletop position and maybe closing down the eyes if that feels okay for you. Take a moment to move in a way that feels good for you. So maybe rotating the hips around the knees in one direction and then the other. You can drop hips from side to side, just have a little play. From here, we're going to tuck the toes and start to create a little bit of heat in the body. So inhale, pressing into the pads of the fingers, the knuckles gripping the mat, pressing into the toes, the balls of the feet when you lift the knees and hover. Holding here. Drawing that belly button into the spine. Then exhale, super slow. Release the knees, untuck the toes and float the hips back over the heels for a child's pose. Stretch the hands out long if that feels good for you. Forehead is resting on the mat or tracking in that direction. Big breath into the belly here. Exhale, let it go. We'll inhale, come back to that tabletop position. Straight away, tucking the toes, hovering the knees, creating that heat, getting that fire starting to build in the body as we press into the balls of the feet, press into the pads of the fingers. And then exhale, super slow, release the knees, untuck the toes, float the hips back over the heels for a child's pose. Deep breath into the belly here. Exhale, let it all go. We'll inhale to come up to tabletop position, tucking the toes. And this time we're going to float the hips up to the ceiling for a downward facing dog. So walking out your dog when you get there. So taking nice, big, deep bends of the knees, one and then the other. And moving in any way that feels good. Maybe dropping hips from side to side. And finding some stillness through the body. We'll begin to shake the head yes, and then no, to release any tension in the neck. And just check in with your spine here. So if heels are not tracking to the mat, keep the knees bent and float those hips back towards the back of the room so you can feel that lengthening of the spine. From here, we inhale, gaze comes between the hands, deep bend in the knees. And we're going to walk our feet up between our hands, but think about that leg suctioning up into the hip. So suctioning the leg up and then floating the foot forward, taking as many steps as you like to get there. When you arrive, coming into a nice deep forward fold, head hangs heavy. Inhale, halfway lift your version, so hands can come above the knees, the shins on the mat. Exhale, sink it down, look for some space here. Inhale to press through the feet as we root to rise, coming all the way up. Reaching hands up nice and high. And then bringing hands to heart center. We take a mountain pose here, so bring the big toes together to touch, leaving some space between the back of the feet. Hands come by the side body, palms facing forward. Closing down the eyes if that feels okay for you. Breathing into the belly, finding the breath. Sending it to anywhere in the body that it needs to go. We'll inhale together through the nostrils, filling up the belly. Pause at the top of the breath, open up the mouth, exhale, let it go. Untap your toes here. Inhale, reach the hands up nice and high, palms come together to touch. And then exhale, hands come through the heart center, deep bend in the knees, you come all the way over the forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift your version. Exhale, see if you can find a little more space as you come down, plant the hands, and then begin to walk the feet back to a high front foot. Pausing here, pressing the weight of the body into the feet and hands equally. And then we'll inhale, bring the weight of the body over the hands. And if chaturanga is in your practice, we'll flow through that now. If it's not, I'll walk you through. So coming over the hands, dropping knees or belly and chest all the way down to the mat, nice and slow. Checking that your elbows are tucked in. We inhale, draw a line with the nose to the ceiling, cobra. Exhale to tuck the toes, float those hips up to downward facing dog. Deep inhale. Exhale, let it go. We'll inhale to step the feet a little closer on the mat as we reach that right leg up nice and high for a three-legged dog. Toes are flexing down towards the mat. Inhale to reach even further through the sole of that foot. And on the exhale, we're going to bring the knee through to the nose to knee for a tiger fell. Inhale to press that foot back up, three-legged dog. Nice and slow. Exhale, squeeze it in. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, tiger fell. Inhale to reach up nice and high. We'll hover here for a moment before bringing the foot all the way between the hands. So however you get it there. So you can bring the knee between through the body, just like we did on a tiger curl. Or if you need to take a few little shimmies and steps, pick up your hand to get your foot there, however you get it there. Doesn't matter. Inhale to draw the line of the nose up to the ceiling. Exhale to drop that back knee. Pressing into the front foot. We inhale, reach up for a low lunge. Biceps are tracking in towards the ears as our fingers reach for the sky. Finding the breath. Continuing to move slow. We float the hands down to frame that front foot. Pick up the back foot. Floating it next to the front, forward fold. Take a ragdoll here. So opposite hands, you can grab onto opposite elbows. Taking a bounce or a bit of a rock and roll by bending one knee and then the other. Connecting with the breath here. Releasing your hands down to the mat as we inhale, halfway lift, your version. Exhale, float it on down. Find a little more space. Inhale to press through the feet, we root to rise, coming all the way up. Big breath in, hands come to heart center. Exhale, deepen in knees, we come straight away back into a forward fold. Inhale for your halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back to high plank pose. Checking the weight distribution of the body through the hands and the feet. And then we'll flow through chaturanga to downward facing dog. So your version, either coming to your knees, all the way to the belly and chest. Inhaling cobra. Exhale, tucking those toes, float those hips up nice and high, downward facing dog. Full belly breath. We'll stay for 2 more breaths. Reconnecting with the breath here, filling up all the way to the top and then letting it go. Inhale to lift that left leg nice and high for a three-legged dog. Toes flexing down to the mat. On your exhale, we bring that knee through to nose to knee, tiger flat, squeeze it in. Inhale, reach it up nice and high. Exhale, bring that knee through. Breathing it up, opening up, filling up with breath. Exhale, bringing that knee through to the nose. Reaching up for a three-legged dog. We'll hover here for a moment before bringing that foot all the way between the hands. However you get it there, taking as much time as you need. Then dropping down that back knee to the mat, pressing through the front foot. We'll inhale, reach the hands up to the sky, low lunge. Checking that biceps are tracking towards the ears. Fingers reaching high, gaze can be up to the sky or straight ahead. Exhale, float those hands down to frame that front foot. Pick up the back foot, we float it next to the front. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, planting the hands. We'll walk the feet back to a downward facing dog. Stay for one round of breath. On your next exhale, floating the knee down to the mat, bringing big toes together to touch, taking the knees wide, float the hips down over the heels for a wide leg child's pose here. We'll stay for 3 rounds of breath, taking this opportunity to slow down the breath. Send the breath to those places in the body where you're feeling a little extra tension or tightness. On your next inhale, we'll lift head and shoulders, coming back to tabletop position. And then tucking the toes, floating those hips all the way back up to a downward facing dog. Stepping the feet together closer on the mat. This time we're going to lift the right leg high for a 3-legged dog, but then bring that heel all the way down towards the buttocks, opening up through the knee, taking the gaze underneath the armpit into our scorpion pose. Enjoying that sensation of the opening of the hip. And then unraveling back to a 3-legged dog, taking that sole of the foot nice and long. You're going to drop that foot behind the other, so crossing your floating leg behind your standing leg and bending the standing leg nice and deeply before reaching those hips back behind you. Opening up through the back leg, feeling that stretch. Breathing into the belly. We'll inhale to release that leg back up to a 3-legged dog. And then exhale, place it down next to the other. Send those hips back. Deep breath into the belly. Exhale, let it go. Inhale to lift the left leg for a 3-legged dog. And then squeeze that heel in towards the buttock, opening up through the hips. Pivoting that knee up to the ceiling, gaze comes under the armpit. Exhale to unravel, reaching that foot back nice and long, 3-legged dog. Releasing that foot down behind the standing leg. So floating leg crosses behind the standing leg, knee bends deeply. I'm going to release that foot back up to a 3-legged dog before placing it back down next to the other, dropping the knees, coming all the way into child's pose. So your version. So you can bring hands by the side body. We'll leave the hands extended nice and long. We'll slow down the breath here. Taking these pauses and these moments to feel into the body, notice any changes from when we first began our practice. And send the breath to those places in the body where we're feeling tension, tightness, allowing both body and mind to become soft here. Taking a full breath in, feeling the skin on the back of the body expand. Then exhale, let it all go. Inhaling, lifting head and shoulders. Coming back to tabletop position, tucking the toes and straight away coming into downward dog. One more time. On your inhale, deeply bend the knees, gaze comes between the hands. And again, we're going to walk the feet up between the hands, suctioning that leg back up into the hips to float the foot forward, step by step. Take as many as you need. Coming to our forward fold when you get here. Head is hanging heavy. We'll inhale halfway lift, nice and slow. Exhale, see if you can find a little more length, a little more space as we come down over the legs. Inhale to press through the feet. We root to rise, coming all the way up. Hands meeting at the top and then coming down through heart center. Coming into our balancing pose here. So bringing the weight of the body into the right foot to begin. Pressing all of the weight of your body through all four corners of the foot. And then beginning to lift your left knee. The left knee is coming up towards the chest. We'll release the hands to bring them around the knee and squeeze the knee up towards the chest. Keeping that squeeze sensation, releasing the hands from the knee, and by the side body, we'll begin to float that leg back behind us. So coming all the way back, finding your drishti or your focus points. Hands can be flying back behind you, or you can attempt to reach them forward and take them long. Letting that back foot come to the mat as we find a high lunge. So staying on the ball of the back foot, bending through that front knee, reaching through the fingertips, biceps tracking towards the ears. Inhale, find a little more reach. Exhale, sink those hips down nice and low. Inhale to reach through the fingers, and on your exhale, I'm going to pivot the toes of the back foot, opening up to a warrior two. So toes of the back foot facing the long edge of the mat, the front foot the short edge of the mat. Take a moment here to check in with your pelvis. So there might be a tendency for the pelvis to fly back. So see if you can tuck that tailbone forwards and under a little more. Reaching in opposite directions. Gaze comes over the front middle finger. We feel strong through the legs. Reaching into the future and the past whilst being grounded in the present. On your next inhale, we'll reach forward, reverse a palm, reverse our warrior, peaceful warrior. Inhale to come back to warrior two. And then find your way to side angle or triangle pose. So side angle option, elbow comes to knee, palm is facing forward as the back arm floats up, or triangle, we attempt to straighten that front knee. Allow that hand to float down to the inside edge of the foot. Opening up through the chest, heart is shining bright. Gaze can be forwards or up to the palm that is flying above you. Then bending through that front knee, we'll come back up to warrior two. Nice and strong. Inhale, reach forward, reverse our palm, reverse your warrior. Exhale to come back to warrior two and come straight into side angle or triangle pose, your version, whatever feels good for you. We inhale back to warrior two And then pivot the toes of both feet to the long edge of the mat, coming into our 5-pointed star. So toes are facing slightly outwards, palms reaching, palms facing down, fingers reaching away. Gaze is forwards. And then we'll inhale, reach the hands up, meeting at the top. Exhale, float the hands back down, let them find the points of the hips, so the bony points of the hips. Pressing down into the hips as we grow tall through the spine, and begin to swan dive, keeping a bend in your knee if your knees are a bit complaining, a bit whingy this morning. Gaze comes down to the floor with swan dive, coming to where it feels good for you. So if you're about halfway and that feels okay, you can release your hands. Otherwise, if you've got a bit more in your practice this morning, you can keep coming, allowing the head to track down towards the mat, and then release the hands to the mat. Taking any little wiggles or adjustments that you need here, so maybe taking your feet a little wider or a little closer. If you're wanting a little more in your practice, you can reverse the fingertips away from you, so they're facing backwards, facing behind you, and begin to walk the hands underneath the back of the legs as we come further down into this deep, wide leg stretch. Breathing into the backs of the legs. Walking the hands back underneath the face. We inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, sink it down. Inhale to lift and walk your hands to frame the left this time. So coming into the opposite direction, the left foot will have the toes pointing to the short edge of the mat, and your right, the toes will be facing the long edge of the mat. As we come on up, straight away into warrior two. Reaching into opposite directions. Nice and strong through the arms. Strong through the legs. Inhale, reach forward. Reverse your palm, reverse your warrior, peaceful warrior. Coming back to warrior two. Hips can sink a little lower here as we then find our side angle triangle pose. So options for you. Again, if you want to play with triangle, you can straighten that front knee and let that hand slide down the inside edge of the foot. Or even bring your hand to resting on your shin just above your foot, where your foot joins your leg. I don't know what that bit's called. Bending through the front knee, we inhale back to warrior two. And then reaching forward, reverse your palm, reverse your warrior, peaceful warrior. Big breath down the side body here. As we exhale, come back to warrior two. Straight away finding side angle or triangle pose. Bending again through that front knee. Going back to warrior two one more time. We'll inhale, straighten the front knee. Reverse both palms as they reach up to touch. And then pivot the toes to face the long edge of the mat. Take a Charlie's Angel grip here. So interlocking the fingers as your index fingers point to the sky. And begin to heel toe your feet back together. Pressing both feet into your mats. And just checking in with your pelvis, tucking that tailbone slightly down and under. Reaching through the fingertips here, grow nice and tall through the spine. We're going to tick-tock over to one side of the room. So just reaching along, just nice, slow movement here. Inhaling to center, exhaling to the opposite direction. Inhale, center. Exhale, take it over. Inhale up. Exhale, let it go. Releasing the hands through to heart center. We'll find our way to the top of our mat. So coming up to the very top of your mat. Bringing hands to, giving hands at your heart center here. Taking a full breath into the belly. You might even like to place one hand on your heart, one hand on the belly, so you can feel the sensation of the breath into your hands. Slowing down the heart rate. As we allow our breath to settle. We'll stay for 2 more rounds of breath. Releasing the hands. We'll inhale, reach up nice and tall. Exhale, hands come through heart center all the way. We fold over the legs. Deeply bent knees this time. So keep the knees really bent quite deep this time so that the belly is resting on the thighs. Letting your head become heavy. Feeling that sensation of the shoulders, the head releasing towards the ground. Then coming to your halfway lift as we inhale. Planting your hands to walk the feet back into a high plank pose. Just for a moment. Now you can come to a child's pose straight away here or flow through chaturanga for us to meet in child's pose. So if you're coming into a child's pose, come into that now. Otherwise, if we're flowing through chaturanga, we'll go together, coming over the hands, bringing the knees or the belly and chest all the way to the mat. We inhale, cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, coming up for downward facing dog. Deep breath into the belly. Exhale, dropping the knees to the mat. Nice and slow, bringing big toes together to touch, taking knees wide, or coming into any version of child's pose that feels good for you. Sending the breath into the lower abdomen. Becoming aware of where you can feel the breath in the belly. And the sensation of the energy that the breath is creating in the body. We'll inhale through the nostrils, filling up all the way to the top, pausing at the top of the breath. Then exhale, let it go. On your next inhale, we'll lift head and shoulders, coming to tabletop position, and then allowing your hips to drop to one side. We'll come all the way over to a seated position. So legs are long on the mat. And we're removing the fleshy parts of the buttocks away from the sit bones to begin. So you can feel the sit bones pressing or just resting nice and evenly on the mat. From here, toes are flexed up towards the ceiling. And the legs are quite active here. So we're switching on the muscles all the way up the legs. You'll probably notice that your abdominals start to switch on as well. And then just reaching the hands down to rest wherever they're nice and comfortable for you. As we switch on those abdominals, switch on those muscles of the leg, flexing the toes, even spreading the toes. We'll play with that. So it feels like breathing into the belly. We'll hold for 2 more breaths. Creating a little fire, a little heat. And then let everything go as you walk your feet up towards your buttocks. Take your hands to rest behind you, fingers pointing away from the body. Just allow yourself to fall back into your hands for a moment. You can keep your gaze forward or let your head drop back, depending on what feels best for your neck. Then we're going to windscreen wiper the legs from side to side. So super slow movement here. So really feeling into which muscles are activating, how the breath is moving in the body as windscreen wiper from side to side. Taking the legs wider if that feels better for you. So if you want a little more, you can step the feet even wider and then allow the knees to fall more central to your mat. And then walking your feet back to center. We're going to just check that you've got enough room on your mat behind you. So coming forward if you don't yet. And then reaching the hands forward, switching on the abdominal. We're going to keep the chin away from the chest. So imagine that we've got like a piece of, I was going to say a beach ball, don't put a beach ball. Just a piece of fruit or a tennis ball, something between the chin and the chest. And then we'll start to float the body back down to the mat. So keeping everything nice and slow, switching on the muscles of the leg, the abdominal, come all the way onto our backs. Then when you get there, allow the legs to become long, hands to drop by the side, and everything to just become super soft like jelly. Reaching everything up. And then we'll pick up the knees, bring them towards the chest, wrapping hands around the shins, and taking a squeeze and any final little movements here that feel good for you. So you might even like to take a happy baby here. So either a modified happy baby, having your hands resting on your shins, toes pointing away from you as you track the knees in towards the shoulders, or coming into a regular happy baby and allowing those knees to track in towards the armpits, legs to become heavy, and maybe even moving from side to side a little bit. Having a little play, finding what feels good for you. And then taking this time to pop on any layers. Getting nice and comfy. As we come into our final pose, Shavasana. And take the legs long and have the hands by the side body, palms facing up or slightly outwards, inwards. We'll begin by becoming aware of the sensation of the parts of the back of the body that are in contact with the ground. Feeling into the parts of the body that are making contact with the earth, and seeing if you can allow each exhale to help you heavy down into these places a little more. Bringing your awareness now to the sensation of the breath in the belly. Feeling the belly rise and fall. Noticing the expansion as you inhale. And seeing if you can allow each exhale to help you find a little more softness. To let go. Letting go of the focus on the belly and allowing your breath to return to a pace that feels natural for you here. And bring our awareness to the sensation of the breath in the entire body. Maybe the subtle energies, the prana or the life force created by the breath that you may feel as sensations in the palms of the hands, the soles of the feet, your heart center, or the whole body. Bring our awareness now to the soles of both feet. Noticing any sensations you feel here. The toes of both feet. Tops of the feet. Both shins. The calves. Front of the knees. Back of the knees. The front of the thighs. And the back of the thighs. The whole pelvis, heavying down a little more. Giving yourself permission here to soften through the pelvis. Giving yourself permission to let go. The belly. The back of the body. And the space between the shoulder blades. Feeling the shoulders heavy down onto your mat a little more. As you bring your awareness down both arms to the palms of your hands. Feeling the sensations in the palms of your hands. The fingers of both hands. Backs of the hands. Both arms. Heavying down a little more. Back of the neck. The throat. The whole of the face. The eyes and eyelids. And the space between the eyebrows. Top of the head. The whole head resting on your mat, fully supported by the ground beneath you. The whole body letting go a little more, fully supported by the earth beneath you, fully supported and safe. Beginning to bring your awareness now back into your space. Becoming aware of sounds that you can hear. Maybe the sound of your own breath, sound of my voice, or sounds further away, outside of the room. Starting to wiggle your fingers and toes to bring some movement back into the body. And then when you feel ready, taking a full body stretch, reaching the arms behind the head. Keeping your eyes closed if that feels safe for you. We'll roll over to our right side for a couple of breaths before making your way to a seated position at the front of your mat. We'll finish today's practice with a shared sound of Om. You can feel free to join in or just listen. So keeping your eyes closed if that feels okay for you. We'll inhale for a clearing breath, and then after our second inhale, we'll Om together. So inhale to clear, exhale, let it go. And we'll inhale for our Om. Bringing your hands together at heart center, bowing your head as a sign of gratitude. Give yourself thanks for the time you have given to you today. Thank you so much for sharing this practice with me. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you and namaste.
Namaste.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Hope that was okay.
It was beautiful.
And thank goodness, Marisha, I was saying before you joined, I've had tradies next door from 5 a.m. on the tools. And they were so loud. They stopped. And I was getting so close to going, Ollie's like, just go out there and do a Karen on them, Mum.
Yeah. That doesn't matter. It's all part of it, isn't it?
It's so different teaching like this to teaching in person. So.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be, I don't know. Is it easier or harder?
It's just different, I think. Yeah, it's just really different. Like, it's harder because I can't see you as well.
Yeah. I was thinking that, like, you can't correct people.
Yeah. So that's harder because I get off my mat a lot in a class and I walk around. So
yeah.
What about, have you done any online, Kirst?
No.
No.
I got asked to.
Yeah.
It's not me. I'm not a techno-y person at all.
Most stressful part of it. It's so stressful. It's just that bit is the stressful bit.
Yeah, exactly. So no, I've chosen not to. So I've done been student to plenty of online classes, which is lovely. But that was beautiful. It was beautiful to be like sharing this lounge room space with you.
I know, it was so nice. So Marisha, for context, Kirsty and I were we had babies together in Margaret River. So Kirsty's babies are either side of Ollie in age, and Kirsty, Marisha and I met when we travelled around Australia, and Marisha's babies are either side of Ollie as well. So and then she had another one. So it was so nice to connect with you both. I've just had the other person who is definitely coming into the waiting room.
Oh no, they've got the wrong time.
That's okay. She might, I don't know where she was joining from. I think over East, and they've just gone to daylight savings. Kirsty was telling me, Rish. So
Oh, they've got the wrong time. I had to do a meeting last week with someone over East, and I went an hour early.
yeah, that's just because they keep changing, because they've just gone to daylight savings as well. So
Better than an hour late though.
this is true.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you so much for thanks so much for that. There is like a little survey link that's coming. So if you it should only take about 5 minutes. That'd be awesome, because then I can just get feedback and be as brutally honest as you like. So I need all the help that I can get.
No, it was really good. I loved it. It's good just to do, like, take that time out as well.
Oh, I think so too. Yeah, it's nice. All right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Now,
okay, well, have an awesome day. Don't be too busy.
yeah.
Yeah. See you, Kirst.
Bye. See ya.
It's so nice to have you in the space, in our mutual spaces.
I know, it's beautiful.
Now that I've just got you, I'll spin the computer around so that you can sort of see the space a little bit. It's a bit disheveled at the moment, but it's like, I'll show you.
Oh, gorgeous.
My computer's
Oh, beautiful kitchen.
So that's my nice big kitchen and a nice big window.
Oh, that's lovely.
So that's like our main kind of living area, which is nice. So
Oh, that's gorgeous.
good, but we've still got lots to do. That's okay. We'll get it.
Totally.
Well, it's so nice to see your face.
Oh, so nice to see you too. It's great. That was beautiful. You're a really, really beautiful teacher. It was really lovely.
Thank you. It's so hard to know, because it's, like, I think you get good feedback when you're in person, because you can totally feel the energy of people there, and you can read the room and go, oh, I need to adjust. But online it's a bit different. But I totally felt your energies. It was nice.
Oh, yeah, no, it was beautiful. And it was beautiful, nice and flowy, and it was lovely.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Well, have an awesome day.
Yeah.
And enjoy the rest of your public holiday, and be nice to yourself.
I'm going to. No one's home. I'm going to make a cup of tea right now, and I don't know, then take it from there. Whatever. Whatever. Yep.
Well, thank you so much. I'm going to go chat to this lady and let her know she got
to do that. Okay, you do that. All right. Bye.
Hello, Lisa. Hello.